so easy to do once you recognize it, once you dial into it. It's like all of a sudden it's like you start seeing things that were never there before, and you just start to like notice all these amazing things, and it's just like ooh, all these little light bulbs start going off for you.
Hello, Jessica. Good morning or good night.
Yeah,
Depends.
it's evening for me. Yeah.
Yeah, what is now? It's like 8
PM.
p.m. by
Yeah, I'm in Western Canada.
Western Canada. Where, like, I know Canada. Where is Western
Okay.
Canada? Like, what big city?
I'm about 20 minutes out of Vancouver in an area called Coquitlam, British Columbia.
Wow, of course I heard of British Columbia. It's in, each person, like backpackers, people who love
Mhm.
hiking.
Oh,
We always
yeah.
have a list. So, a list of those places we want to get to. And
Yeah.
British Columbia is for sure in mine,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Have you been
Wow.
here before? Have you been here?
No, but I heard it's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah. If you like to hike, this is the place for sure. And then you go
Wow.
relax. Then you go relax on the beach when you're done.
Oh, it's also mountains and also beach, both together?
Ocean and mountains. It's amazing. Best of both worlds.
Wow, I heard so much of that place. Hopefully I'll get there one of these days. I heard it's really beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
what is
Come
that?
on, come on over.
You come visit me here, I'll come visit you there. We'll do,
Deal.
good. As long as we have to, some good, dark chocolate for the coffee for in the morning. So, we're good.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Oh, we're on for sure. For sure.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, my friend Tracy is watching. Hey, Tracy.
Hello, Trace. So good evening, morning,
Oh,
afternoon,
oh,
wherever you are.
yeah, yeah, we've got Jeanette as well. Ooh, we got the girls are joining.
What an honor. I, I,
Oh,
wa- I want to talk to you today, Jessica. You do a lot of amazing work, and
thank you.
I really love it, especially in today's world. Maybe also in the past, but I wasn't alive today. I could say that so many people, their validation comes and their joy comes not based on who they are, based on people that compare them outside, and then it's not really their joy. The fact that someone else has a certain joy from something, it doesn't mean you're enjoying it or it's for you. And that's what I really love your work, because it's something that is unique. You're helping people, and you'll say a lot more about it, but you're helping people find their joy. And I believe when someone finds, or when she finds or he finds their joy, so not only that it's good for them, it's also good for their surroundings, because then you're real you, and you shine more, like you light. I think it's really beautiful. And you also have your 4 steps that you talk about. I'm not going. You're going to talk about them: the joy, awareness, choices, freedom. But if you could explain more about your work, and like how does someone find that inner joy, their version of joy, nothing to do with the people around them. That way they could tap into it at any time in life, not depending on someone else to be there with them.
Yeah, actually, I really love what you said there, because one of the things that I talk about a lot is expectations. Is we set these expectations that somebody or something is going to, provide us with the joy or excitement or love or whatever it is that you're seeking. And we can't put that on other people because it's not their job to do that, and they don't know, so they're probably going to disappoint you without even realizing they're doing it, right? They're just trying to get through doing their thing, and they don't realize that they're letting you down because you've given them an expectation they simply can't live up to. So, the best way to deal with that is, like you said, we need to find it for ourselves. And I do use joy as a bit of an umbrella term because I do believe that it's very personal. For me, it's pure joy. Like, that is just what I go looking for every minute of every day. And it's so easy once you train yourself to look for it, right? But a joy can be whatever I call it your North Star. It's like that thing inside you that lights you up, that you want to get out of bed for. It could be love, it could be passion, it could be, giving back, contribution. Like you, I was just actually watching the live that you did with Angela. And I mean, the two of you guys together, I mean, you guys are both such amazing giving people, right? To be able to give back to somebody and feel valued, feel that somehow you touched them. I know that's an external thing, but it's that sense of contribution that you want to be able to give. That could be your version of joy, right? And if you just go through the world as helping people without any expectation of them returning it, just doing it for your own sense of, wanting to feel good. I mean, the world becomes a playground for you, right? Because it's limitless. It's absolutely limitless when you know what it is that just brings that joy out in you. And so that's what I think is so many people. Oh, it can't. Jeanette says, look in the dictionary under the word joy and you'll find Jessica's photo. Thank you, Jeanette. I love you.
Wow.
Yeah, she's one of my amazing people.
You're an amazing person, so I'm sure you're surrounded by amazing people. I have no doubt about that. That's for sure.
That's the movement makers community, and now you're one of my people. So, welcome to my world of joy.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I would want, just before you talk about how someone finds their joy, because like you said, we can't be waiting for someone else or counting on someone else to do that. That's the sun rising now, so it's coming into my eyes. But it's part of my joy, by the way. I love the sunrise.
I love it.
So
I'm glad we get to share it together.
yeah. Before I come back in. So before we dive on how we find that joy, I want to. You spoke about just a little bit, but what is that joy that so many people are talking about? You said something that you want to wake up in the morning. Maybe we could just understand a little bit more, what is that joy? That way, when we understand what's that joy, so then we could also have the tools and the understanding that you're going to talk about after, how to find it.
Yeah. So I'll just give a little hint. I did an exercise about 2 years ago, and anybody listening can go and find this for themselves. It's called the 7 Levels Deep exercise. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's an NLP exercise. And that was what completely shifted me. That's when I realized what it was that I wanted more than anything. Because I truly believe that you can say that you want success, you can say you want money, you can say you want all these things, a new car, a beautiful house, a wonderful place to live, but it's really about the feeling that thing is going to give you is what we're really seeking. And that's what I want people to tap into. It's not about the car. You can go and buy yourself a beautiful car and you can be driving. It's that feeling of tapping into that feeling when you're driving it, the wind, the music, the sun, whatever it is, it's that essence that you just become this best version of yourself when you're at your best. And if having a new car does that for you, then tap into that feeling and really experience it and live it. And I just, that's what I want for people, is to find that for themselves, whatever it is, but to go 7 levels beyond that initial thing that you think is going to make you happy. Because that's the true motivation. That's your true, what I call my North Star. And I want everybody to find that North Star for themselves. Because like you said, then you don't need anybody else to do anything for you to feel it. Because it's like it comes from you instead of being, you need it from something else, right? So, and it's so easy to do once you recognize it, once you dial into it. It's like all of a sudden it's like you start seeing things that were never there before, and you just start to notice all these amazing things, and it's just ooh, all these little light bulbs start going off for you, and it's incredible. So yeah.
Wow, amazing. I love that. By the way, if you're saying it's something inside that brings a certain feeling, right? So I might get that feeling from a few different areas of life, right? It doesn't have to be this one thing. And that's my joy, because if it's a feeling I'm looking after, so we could create it from a variety of different things. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's everywhere. It's in anything that you want to see it in, right?
Okay.
It's being open
Love
to
that.
it. And yeah, it's being open to it. Now, Jeanette asked, she goes, please share the difference between joy and happiness. See, I don't know. I mean, to me, joy is just, it's, did you see that movie with, you might not have seen it, Billy Crystal, and they're always talking about what's that the one thing that's like most important in life. And it's whatever you think it is. It's like you need to tap into that. Like your business is very different than my business, but yet your business still fulfills you. My business fulfills me, right? So it's like everybody has their own personal version. And when you can tap into that, that's when you can start to fully experience life, right? And stop waiting until. Like I see so many people who are like delaying feeling good until something happens. But I mean, that goalpost is constantly moving. Like you're never going to chase it. It's like the carrot at the end of the stick attached to the dog that's running, right? Like you're never going to get it. So you have to
Yeah.
feel it now. So
Beautiful, beautiful. I'll say again, it's your field, and maybe I just sharing that joy can maybe be something inside that that's like the, not sure how to say in English, but that's like it starts the light inside that could then bring that happiness, and like it's that's my belief that joy is maybe more something like inner, like when you start the fire. So joy is that's a start, that's something inside, and then
okay.
happiness is maybe more dependent also on things from the outside, rather joy is something from the inside. But I really love what you just now said about that one thing. It's beautiful, and I would love to ask you, Jessica. It's now that we got to understand what is joy, the big question is how do we get there? Because you're saying you're telling me and other people that it's not something that needs to be dependent on other people. So what do it's our job to find it. So are there like steps to find it? How do I find my joy? Because it sounds amazing, so I want to find it.
Give it to me, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like honestly, so a few years back, I hosted a women's conference, and my co-host said to me, she's the one who actually gave me the name of Bring the Joy Girl, because we were hosting this conference, and most of the speakers that we had taking the stage were telling sort of on the sadder side of stories. They were sharing their struggle, but then their overcome, that here they are, they survived it, right? But some of it was pretty tragic. I've never had anything like that. And so she used to joke with me, and she's like, Jessica, you're the one who's always bringing the joy. You're always showing up and bringing the joy. And so that name kind of stuck. But then, like I said, a couple years later, I did that exercise, and it took me on that discovery, right? That going beyond the surface. So I actually started out doing it around my business. So I asked myself the question, what's important to me about my business? And then I answered the question, and I just listed it all out. And then the next step is you go through that list, and you pick out something, the one thing in that list that's most important to you right now, and you ask that question again. You just say, now what's important about that? You do that 7 times, your life will change. That is how I figured out that joy is what actually, it's the one thing, and I can find it anywhere. I can find it at work. I can find it driving to work. I can find it doing dishes. I can find it going out hanging with friends. I can find joy anywhere I want. And the more I do that, the more I feel like I'm showing up as my most authentic self. And then I'm attracting just more of that to me, and I'm seeing more. So it's like it amplifies. The more, as soon as you figure it out and you start looking, it just 10x's on top of itself, just over and over and over again. And it's simple once you figure it out. Pardon?
Sorry for interrupting. That means it shows up a lot more the second you understand what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would be happy to hot seat coach you one time if you ever want to do that, and we can find your joy.
For sure. I would love to add another one to the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be great. What I really like about what you said right now, that when we sit down and do that joy, we do that exercise to find the joy. So we might start with a certain thought in our head or answer that we think that's the joy. but then we might come to something, right? Like when you were sitting down, did you? I'm assuming answer number one wasn't like answer number seven. Correct me if I'm
No,
wrong.
no, not even close. So I'll give you a quick example. So I ran a workshop back in February, and this was what I did with every single person. Even though it was a group coaching over 12 weeks, I first took each single person and I ran them through this exercise because I wanted them to know what the outcome was for the workshop. I wanted them to have a direction so that they knew what the metric would be if the workshop was good for them, if they got out of it what they were looking for. And so I wanted them to have that North Star starting off. And so I'll give you a quick example. It was surrounding healthy habits was what the workshop was about. So the question was, what does healthy mean to you and why is that important? And so, it starts off with, well, I'd like to have more energy and I'd like to lose some weight and I'd like to feel like I'm feeding my body healthy food. I'd like to be moving, all those kind of things. In the end, what she figured out, it was about respect. That's where she got to.
Wow.
It's like, you couldn't take healthy and respect and just put them side by side. Yeah. Right? They don't match up. You don't connect those dots without all the dots in between. So, and as soon as she figured that out, she sort of sat there like, where did that come from? Because that's what it truly meant for her. So then now moving through that workshop, everything was about like, how do I respect myself? How do I feel respected by other people? So she set boundaries. Like it's really amazing. So yeah, it's a great discovery for people to go on.
Wow, that's beautiful. How a person comes for one thing and actually finds the other. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to understand, if someone wants to do now this practice at home. Mm-hmm. So, do we need to write, or do I need to write like what is the joy I'm looking for, or just take a certain area in life, which is important for me, ask why is it important, and then dive deep like those 7 whys, why every time, or I just ask about joy specifically?
No, I think if you take each different area of your life and do it independently, you'll probably find that the answer is going to be very similar for all of it, because I think you're just gonna have this underlying like your true essence, what it is that you're really looking for, and all the different areas really become just vehicles for you to get that, right?
Okay, so let's say I did that I did these 7 whys, and I got to that answer. Now, how did I get there? So let's say I got to respect, for example, like you said.
Yep.
Now what? So that's first step, but how do I find now that respect?
Okay, so then the next step for me is I teach people about something called a decision matrix. Have you ever used a decision matrix?
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. So imagine, I'm going to have to use my hands for this. So imagine that you have 2 axes, right? So one that's an arrow that goes this way, that would be respect, okay? And then you have the other one that goes straight up, and that would kind of be like your overall vision for what you want your life, business, that area of your life to kind of look like. So you would do like a life wheel exercise or something before that to figure that out. So you have to kind of do 2 exercises to get these 2 different points that you want to sort of judge on. And then there's in the middle, then now there's 4 quadrants. Okay, so you've got your axis going this way, axis going this way, and inside there's 4 quadrants. Okay, so I think you know where I'm going with this. So then anytime something comes along, you're faced with a decision, especially the big decisions, but you can test this out on little decisions, and it can just kind of become like a habit that you do. You kind of run yourself through this before you make any decision. Is, okay, so you come to me and say, hey, Jess, do you want to do an IG Live and talk about joy? Hello, yes, because that hits my joy axis, like ding, 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 way over here at a 10, right? And it also hits my life vision, getting out there, being able to help people, teaching them about stuff. So it hits my life vision 1, 2, which puts us in this top quadrant, which is I call it the sweet spot. So that's but that's a hell yes, I want to go live with you, right? However, if for some reason I decided that that did not sound like fun to me at all, did not sound like it would bring me joy, then it wouldn't really hit very far on this axis. It would kind of be down here in this bottom corner. And I also thought, well, you know, I don't really see that adding to my life vision very well of helping people, because we're not going to talk about anything that my market would be interested in. So it doesn't really rank very high here. It's kind of in that bottom quadrant. Well, now that's a no, absolutely no. So it just allows you to be much more logical and kind of step back from things. And that's how you can start to create this North Star, using knowing what you want to feel, and that can help to just start guiding you towards what you really want your life to look like. And then you just start looking for more and more and more and more opportunities to just bring more and more and more of that into you.
Wow,
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Really beautiful. And what I really like about it, you know, I'm all in for finding that joy. And first for us, number one, and because I'm a big believer of each person should light his path, because we're here for a purpose greater than ourselves. But in order to do that the best way, we must invest in ourselves. So we need to light that path with that joy. When we light that path, so then we also light the path of the people surrounding us. So I really love what you said about that joy. By the way, small teaser, my grandmother, she's changed her name. She added her name is Carol, and then she added the name Joy. So now it's Carol Joy.
Oh,
I think both of you together, you'll have fun. But what I really liked about your exercise is it's not a one-time exercise. So right now in life, like I might do that and get to certain answers and certain things that bring me that joy. Mm-hmm. And later on in life, life changes. I believe the core stays the same, like who you are usually stays the same. I also see, because I also worked with like really elderly people, and the core a lot of times stays the same. But then what and how it brings that joy, and that North Star changes. So I could do that once, and then I could do that again in in different areas of life. So I think it's really beautiful. Also from the place of like I won't say wanting, curious, like being curious of what is out there, but at the same time, after doing the work, being present with what I found, which that could be also really beautiful. So I really appreciate, how first you break down first what is that joy, and then how to find it. I think it's something that everyone could do. Of course, going to people who actually guide could be helpful, finding even, more of your treasure. And that's something you do. And I really recommend everyone do follow you and find you, on social media. But by the way, where are the places that people can find you? Because you have a lot of programs.
Yeah, so I spend most of my time here and on TikTok. those are my places these days. And I've been publishing books, so that's actually where I've been spending a lot of my time lately. And 3 of the exercises that I just mentioned are actually in my most recent book. So if people are interested in that, they can look me up on Amazon, Jessica Coulthard on Amazon, and then they can actually go through these exercises themselves, and then join my community there. So I'm taking Evan as my mentor, and I love his Built to Serve community, and I feel like anybody that wants to invest in themselves by buying the book and investing in me, I want to invest back into them. So I'm also creating a community so that I can be there to help people, and that's on Discord. So if people buy the book, they can join the Discord community and have full access to me anytime they want. So.
Wow, that's beautiful. You really left me curious. What's the name of that book?
Oh, it's called a 12-week Rediscover You Journal.
Love it. 12-week Rediscover You Journal. That's amazing. I really want just to touch on these last 2 points that you just mentioned. You just gave basically the exercise, some of them of like how to do it. A lot of times in life we do something when there's another person waiting for it, like someone holding us accountable. That's also, if you're an achiever and like you always put things in the calendar and do it, there are things you won't do. And that someone's holding you accountable, unless you have a community. And when you, like you just now said, you're having the community on Discord, and you're also holding someone accountable, whether it's by the book or whether by them joining to the community. I think that could be really uplifting for a person to actually not only do what they told themselves they'll do and will actually help them, but also find and create more of their beauty that is in them when they join a community, that people can show them things that they didn't see about themselves, and help them at the hard times, cheer them at the good times, cheer them both. So I think it's really beautiful what you're doing. Also in terms of providing people with that knowledge with the book, which is great, but then also being there for them with a community. So that's really nice.
It's true, right? I mean, I don't know about you, how many books you've bought or courses or anything like that you kind of start and then you stop. You're like, oh, you get busy or something happens. So that's why I think having that community is so important, because like you say, it does have a built-in accountability there and support network, and people are a lot more likely to continue on, especially because sometimes when you do these kind of exercises, it can reveal things that maybe you weren't prepared to deal with. And so, if that sort of comes up, people are inclined to want to stop and not face things. And so by having that community, at least there's a support network and you're not alone. And if you have questions or if you need some guidance, at least there's other people there to help you and encourage you to keep going, because if you do that, I mean, the payoff is huge to get through to the other side. So that's another reason why I think it's so important to have a community. So.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I would love people to join to the community. So we'll leave a link. There's probably a link for your book that people can buy that, and then after that, join your community. First, read.
Thank you.
Read, and then after join the community, that would be beautiful. So I really appreciate your time. It's evening over there. Your time today, because these are really important. I'll say tools that everything in life is. It depends on the way we look at it, our perception, and by us finding that inner joy, we could, totally change the way we look at life. So I really believe these are beautiful tools, and you are a beautiful person helping people to get to those places. It's amazing. Really, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Another thing I want to really quickly say is that when we change ourselves, we show up differently in the world for other people too, right? We become, like you say, when we light our own path, we can then shine a light for other people to light their path as well. So, sometimes I ask people, it's like, who else would benefit from you being a better version of yourself, a happier version of yourself, somebody who, knows what their passion is? Who else can you actually benefit by you showing up as that true version of like your personal essence? So that's another question I just love to throw out there for you, right? It's not always just about you. When you start, you can show somebody else the way as well.
Oh, for sure, 100%. I believe it's like we're all here to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. So it's exactly that. But like you said, and like you started, this whole conversation, we first need to find that, that investment in ourselves that brings joy to us, and then it would light also other people's path. So it's for sure. And I think also this is also unique. You said like each person has a different answer for that question, and that's totally fine. It's great. For one person, it might be someone close to them. For someone else, it could be not even a human being, maybe something else, or someone like each person has that other person that they would like to light their path, and sometimes we're not even aware of those paths that we are lighting for other people. So that's also beautiful.
Absolutely. People are watching. You don't always realize who's watching you, but you could be inspiring somebody without even realizing it, right? So. Oh yeah, the sun's really starting to get in your eyes now.
Yeah, it's good. It's some vitamin D. It's good.
Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. It was awesome. We'll have to flip the script and you can come on mine and we can talk all about what you do. How's that?
That would be great. And I'm still holding you for that backpacking trip. So. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Come on over.
Wow.
I'll show you the path and then I'll let you go. I don't know if I'm quite backpacking material, but I can certainly hook you up with some people that can show you some amazing places. So.
Oh, we could have the coffee and the dark chocolate, whatever you like.
There you go.
I go for a hike. We come back. Then cheering you on. Each person whatever they like. I really heard some beautiful things about your area. So hoping us together. So thank you
Awesome.
very much again. I really appreciate, Jessica, your time,
Thank
and I hope
you.
to see you again pretty soon.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.